Congressman, strikes me. I mean, part of why this whole, why everything is so elevated here is just watching any pope speak English with an American accent. It still kind of gets me every single time we do it. But what do you make of the way this has played out this week? I mean, you saw Marco Rubio go to basically try to make peace, and we're exactly a year out from this enormous moment for the church and for Americans in the church.
I think it's a reset. I mean, you had the Secretary of State doing diplomacy with one of the most powerful voices in the world sitting in the Vatican. I think that is a message to Catholic voters here in the United States for sure. But it's also a personal message from Marco Rubio, who is Catholic, and making sure that there is a view of reconciliation with this Pope. Now, what this Pope's message is, and the newness to the papacy, the art of delivering this message to over 1 billion Catholics globally is a complex one in a world that is not perfectly in love with America, and doing that in a way that's genuine to the papacy and to the mission of the Catholic Church is a very important one, also very tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just listening to the Pope's remarks there again, something that stuck out and how he was talking about this isn't an attack. This wasn't an attack in any way. I'm not going to stop with continuing the message of the gospel. And I think that's what we often miss, and definitely what Donald Trump misses. He equates the message of the gospel, which is being against a war, as an attack on his agenda. If someone is not praising what he is doing, he sees them as against him in some way. And that's not what the Pope meant in any way. And this is the way that Trump has lived his presidency in the second term, is that he is used to everyone being around him, being for him. And those that speak out against him, he goes off and attacks them. But the Pope is doing his job, and it's very difficult for the president to understand that.
I mean, this keeping score, right, is not new for President Trump, Congressman. Right. I mean, he has been keeping very careful score for his entire life.
A lifetime. If we saw little journals from his childhood, I'm sure we'd see those. That's not new. I think what we have is the American lens here as well. The eyes on President Kennedy as the first Catholic president of the United States. The view of every word he said in light of his faith was overanalyzed. And I think we see this now with Pope Leo as overanalyzing his Americanness and whether or not he can be a global Catholic.
Let's put up how Americans responded to a variety of the recent statements that have gone back and forth between the Pope and President Trump, because it sort of underscores some of the challenges for the Pope here. So 66% viewed positively the Pope asking Americans to contact Congress to work for peace and reject war. Just 21% liked what Trump posted when he said a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. He was threatening Iran. And then there was Trump posting an image of himself appearing to depict himself as Jesus, which just 9% of Americans.
Yeah, who are these 9% of people that are okay with that? That is my question.
They're all in the White House.
They're the ones who thought it was just
also,
it was a doctor.
But more importantly for society, do they have driver's licenses, right? Is that what you're asking?
Touche. No, but it's interesting. These three things that we articulate here, number one, world peace, number two, wiping out civilizations, and number three, graven images, are in the man's job description. The idea that we're making anything of this other than the fact that, the religious leader of 1 billion people is simply saying things that come out of the book that he seems to be teaching every day. It's sort of striking an odd to me. I don't know.
I think that Trump also this was a bad fight to pick.
Yes.
The Pope is hugely popular here. He has some 67% approval rating or something. Something Trump could only dream of. There's a lot of Catholic voters in a lot of key states that Republicans need to win in this midterm cycle. So I think that, and the Trump, it's a double down only, never apologize.
Well, except for the Jesus photo, which he took down.
Right, which is notable. He took it down. That's he doesn't do that. And sending Rubio over there, I think, is an acknowledgement that this needs to be fixed.
Interesting. All right.